Come here, Mr. Narracott. Don't be shy, it's only me.
Communing with the dead, Judge?
In a way, the law is much like necromancy. We delve, the dead give up their secrets.
What has General Mackenzie told you?
Notice the picture of his dear wife. Leslie, I believe he said her name was. The glass has been smashed, perhaps by the same blunt object that did for the General.
But why?
If we knew that, we might be further along in our inquiries, don't you think? If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say it has something to do with love. It's one of the prime motives, you know. Greed, revenge, and love. Love has killed as many as either of the other two.
Who do you think the killer is?
Lombard is a man used to killing. He freely admits it. It could be a classic double bluff, plead that he is guilty so that we assume his innocence. He's used to taking matters into his own hands. If he suddenly decided for whatever reason that 10 people had to die, I doubt he'd sit still for natural causes.
Any idea who Mr. Owen's next victim will be?
If I were you, Mr. Narracott, I'd watch my own back. Blore is all bluster. I'm past my prime. Armstrong is easily manipulated. Miss Brent's Bible provides all her answers. Miss Claythorne is like a deer caught in onrushing headlights, which is why I suppose you and Mr. Lombard find her so attractive.
You don't miss much, do you?
I miss nothing. And if it doesn't seem too egotistical of me, I can't help feeling that Mr. Owen knows that. Even intended this mystery for me. Why, I can't say, but he didn't count on you, my young friend. I'm hoping that together we may yet thwart him.
I appreciate your candor, Judge. Seems so obvious in retrospect. Although I don't condone smoking, who am I to judge a judge? Are you sure you can't tell me what you were hinting at about Marsden's politics?
Marsden's family was furious with him for becoming involved with a London group enamored of Mr. Hitler's expansionist policies. It's always sad when the younger son of a great family goes astray.
I am grateful for your assistance, Judge Wargrave. How goes the investigation, Blore?
Better than yours, I'll wager.
Who do you think the killer is?
Rogers, of course. In my experience, it's almost always a servant, and he's the only one still standing.
Rogers' background seems like an open book. He may have had a motive for killing his wife, but why kill the others?
The judge thinks it's a maniac. That's motive enough.
Even maniacs have motives that make sense to them.
Perhaps. Not being one, I wouldn't have an opinion about that.
Any idea who Mr. Owen's next victim will be?
I'm the biggest threat to him. A professional investigator. He's lucky he's gone undetected this long. I'm closing in and he knows it.
Good evening, Mr. Blore. Locked. I'll need to wait until the weather lets up a bit.
Oh, Mr. Narracott, you startled me.
Sorry, Rogers. Rogers, what are you doing?
I've already locked the door between the kitchen and the dining room. No one will be able to play tricks with those sailor boy figures tonight, at any rate.
Who do you think the killer is?
Miss Claythorne, of course.
Why?
She brought the rhyme to our attention. She seems innocent of her crime. I think it's just a blind.
Aren't you innocent of your crime?
We're not talking of me, sir. And she's the least likely suspect with drunken doctors, wily judges, religious zealots, cowardly hunters, and you, whatever you are, running about.
Usually it's the butler who's the least likely suspect.
Not where I come from, sir.
Any idea who Mr. Owen's next victim might be?
Miss Claythorne.
But you said she was Mr. Owen.
Did I? Then Miss Brent.
Why?
There's something terrible about her. There's hard steel under those frumpy clothes. Mark my words. Owen would do well to polish her off before she gets her knitting needles into him.
Very kind of you to give me your time, Mr. Rogers. Candy, ice cream. The next feature will be beginning shortly.
Mr. Narracott!
We can't blame him for snooping about in the dark, Vera dear. I'm afraid it's in his nature.
Were you looking for us?
For you, certainly. Who do you think the killer is?
I'd feel uncomfortable answering that.
Please try. Our lives may depend on it.
I'm surprised you value my opinion so highly. But if I were to guess, I'd be forced to say Dr. Armstrong.
Why?
Well, who else has the opportunity to cover his tracks so well? I, for one, can't dispute him if he says potassium cyanide has been used. And 2 of the 3 victims have been poisoned. Surely that points to a doctor.
Some might say to a woman.
Really?
Any idea who Mr. Owen's next victim might be?
Well, if I were Mr. Owen, I'd kill Philip.
Thank you so much.
He's obviously the most experienced at getting out of tight places. Wouldn't that make him the most dangerous to Mr. Owen?
Much obliged for your assistance, Miss Claythorne. And who do you think the killer is?
Wargrave. The recording called us prisoners at the bar. The whole plot smacks of a sense of criminal justice gone mad. From what Vera tells me, he let that Seaton chap swing just for the jollies. Wargrave's my bet. No doubt about it.
Any idea who Mr. Owen's next victim might be?
Well, if I were crass and selfish, come to think of it I am, I'd pick you. I don't much like you, Narracott.
Philip?
The swine has his sights on you, Vera, if you'd only see it. He doesn't deserve you.
That'll be all, Mr. Lombard. Everyone should be asleep by now. Those still awake must certainly be up to no good. Present company excluded, of course.
Philip. You cannot come in.
My intentions are strictly honourable. I'm here to protect you.
I wouldn't believe him.
Patrick? Are you here to protect me as well?
If necessary.
Oh, that's very gallant of you. If true.
I only have your best interests at heart.
I too.
Gentlemen, I appreciate your concern, but I will be quite all right. I intend to put furniture in front of all my doors. We all need sleep, I think. Please excuse me.
A piece of advice, Narracott. You may get the killer, but I intend to get the girl.
And if she's the killer?
Well, that will make for some rather interesting evenings at home, won't it?
I think it's time for me to get some sleep. I can barely keep my eyes open.
We're all a bit late this morning. I slept the clock round.
A sign of a clear conscience, Doctor? Or just a nightcap or two?
Uncalled for, Judge. Totally uncalled for.
No smell of coffee. The stove in the kitchen is cold.
Where's breakfast?
We were just wondering the same thing.
Miss Brent isn't in her room.
Has anyone else noticed the dining room is locked up tight?
Rogers did that, so no more Sailor Boy figurines could be broken.
He seems to have got the cart before the horse, if you ask me.
Kitchen door to the outside is locked as well.
Perhaps he's chopping firewood for the stove.
I confess I don't like it. Both Rogers and Miss Brent missing. Mr. Narracott, would you mind having a look around outside?
Certainly.
You don't mind if I tag along, I'm sure.
Good morning, Mr. Narracott. I'm afraid the sea is as high as ever. I doubt we'll see a boat from the mainland today.
Have you been wandering about the island alone, Miss Brent? Don't you realize that is an exceedingly foolish thing to do?
I'm in no danger when I'm alone, Mr. Blore.
She doesn't get it at all. I'm sticking to you, Narracott. Let's find Rogers. Rogers? Blimey, either he's a good 5 feet taller or...
Cut clean in half.
dead, of course.
Yes, we don't need Dr. Armstrong to tell us that.
Or to fix the cause of death. Axe looks cleaned off. A tidy chap like Rogers would have approved. Dining room key, I expect. He was holding it.
Rogers is now in his bedroom.
Look!
Chapter 5. 6 little sailor boys playing with a hive. A bumblebee stung one, and then there were 5.
My compliments to Miss Claythorne and Mr. Blore for breakfast.
We have to eat to keep our strength up.
I'm a domestic sort of man. I don't mind.
Since it is now certain the killer is following the rhyme over the fireplace in the front parlor, our course is clear. Miss Brent, you have an allergy to bee stings. The next little sailor boy is meant to lose his life in the same way. We will do our utmost to protect you.
I have something I'd like to say, since Mr. Owen is undoubtedly here in this room keeping his strength up. The others may have done what your recording claimed, but I am not guilty of anything. Beatrice Taylor died of her own sins, not by my hand. I feel certain you now see you were in error when you invited me here to face your judgment.
That's a nervy speech if you ask me. I was just doing my job.
Miss Brent, you cannot assume Owen is behaving rationally in any way. If you'd seen what he did to Rogers...
Doctor, I will thank you to keep your opinions to yourself. Coming from the bottom of a bottle as they do, they are worse than useless.
How dare you?
I'm sure Mr. Owen and I understand one another. I'm going to collect my knitting. I'll be on the front patio if anyone needs me.
I can't see anyone needing that woman, ever.
If you'll excuse me, I'll just go up to my room and fresh... That is to say...
I must say, Mr. Narracott, I'm disappointed. 4 dead now. My confidence in you seems to have been misplaced. I may have to take more direct action.
There's been a murder. Surely I should use this time to thoroughly search for clues.
Go away, please. I don't want to talk to anyone.
Can't be much fun playing alone.
The doctor seems uninterested in snooker at the moment. Besides, I find the game relaxes me. I can think more clearly.
I'll give you a game.
I'd rather continue on my own if you don't mind. Besides, you have more important things to do, I'm sure, than knock a few balls into holes.
I'm sorry you think I let you down.
Not at all, my boy. My criticism was for Mr. Owen's benefit. I see no reason to put all of my eggs in one basket, then show the contents of that basket to him. I'm working along several lines at the moment.
Do you have any suggestions for me?
It's the first decent weather we've had since yesterday morning. I'd take advantage of that to signal the mainland or try and escape the island.
I am grateful for your assistance, Judge Wargrave. Film is running, but nothing's being projected. It's tightly locked. I can't open it. It's locked. I won't do that. The film has been spooled. Looked like a home movie of some sort. The film has been spooled.
Interesting film. Can't make heads nor tails of it. There's a film reel and a handwritten note in here. A Gabrielle Steele film? No thanks, I'd rather not watch that tripe. This could use a closer look. There's a card and a film reel in here. Let me examine this further. A Gabrielle Steele film? No thanks, I'd rather not watch that tripe. Ah, the movies.
You had no right to speak to me that way at breakfast.
Didn't I? It's still morning and you're drunk already.
Thanks to you.
Doctor, as you yourself must know, blaming others for one's own faults is a favourite trick of the alcoholic.
You cloak yourself in religion, but you're the most unchristian woman I've ever met. You're a devil! A devil, do you hear me?
I'm certain everyone can hear you, Doctor. Eavesdropping is impolite, Mr. Narracott, but under the circumstances, I'm glad you overheard.
Enjoying the break in the weather, Miss Brent?
This island has only two types of weather, gloomy and slightly less gloomy. I am taking advantage of this brief, slightly less respite.
You were pretty hard on Dr. Armstrong.
No more than he deserved. I only wonder that he didn't kill more people operating drunk than that one woman Owen mentioned. Cleese, was it?
Armstrong was trying to help you at breakfast.
I do not require his help, or yours. The Lord is mindful of his own. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror at night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
You are the next logical victim, Miss Brent.
I disagree. Owen's bee sting might be many things. One of my knitting needles, perhaps. Even a hypodermic needle. I suspect the doctor has one of those in his medical bag. Besides, I'm confident that the angel of death will pass me over.
Anything else that might be important?
I can't vouch for its importance, but something rather annoying has happened.
What?
Someone has taken my grey wool. All of it. I won't be able to finish this shawl without it.
Good day, Miss Brent.
Go away, please. I don't want to talk to anyone.
moods are as changeable as the weather.
You keep away from her.
Relax, old boy. For some reason, the lady seems to prefer you. I seem to have underestimated you. I wonder if Owen has too.
Are you okay, Vera?
Yes, I'm fine. I just don't know who to trust.
You can trust me.
So you say.
I don't think she's in the mood for conversation. This thicket is rife with thorns. I can't get through it. They ate right through the thicket, thorns and all. I think I can see a blinking red light off in the distance, but I can't be sure.
You just keep your distance.
I'm not your enemy.
That's as may be, but I'm trusting no one.
Did you discover anything?
Perhaps I did, but I think I'll keep it to myself if you don't mind.
All right, I've had it. I need to find a way off this island once and for all, and the sooner the better. I don't think she's in the mood for conversation.
Fishing line? Yes, that would be strong enough to sew the silk sheets together.
I think I would be better off working this out on my own. This is neither the time nor the place. This is an odd sort of power cord. It doesn't seem to fit into a regular socket. I don't think that's appropriate. A lot of good some bickering fishermen are going to do us. Hello, hello. Can anyone hear me? This is a distress call.
Quit meddling. You better keep your head down, Maricot, or I'll lop it right off.
What was that? Clearly Owen does not want me here. That isn't such a good idea. That doesn't make sense. It needs something to improve the reception. That works. Just barely. There. Perhaps some light music will help soothe Vera's nerves. How is the parachute coming along?
It's done, Mr. Narracott.
I won't take up any more of your time, Miss Brent. I should have thought of that sooner. I can't say I'm ecstatic about this enterprise, but here goes nothing. I didn't even come close to the mainland. Lucky that buoy was out there, or I'd have drifted out to sea. There was a metal box affixed to it, quite recently from all appearances. It looked like some sort of homing beacon. Blast! I'm beginning to think this island is impossible to leave. I'd best return to the house to dry off before I catch my death. I don't want to do Owen's work for him.
Quickly, someone! Miss Brent was screaming. It sounded like it came from the apiary.
I'd better get moving. I can't see anything of interest. I'm afraid it's stuck that way.
Horrible. Horrible. Those welts on her face. A horrible way to die. Will you gentlemen carry her back to her room? I don't feel quite myself.
6 little sailor boys playing with a hive. A bumblebee stung one, and then there were 5. Another rhyme fulfilled.
But why?
Why? Surely you don't believe all that rot about her innocence.
No, but she was rightfully afraid of bees. Why would she come out here, of all places?
Maybe Owen carried her.
From the front patio? In broad daylight? How could he be certain no one would see? And it'll take both of us to carry her back.
There is something no one's thought of. What if Owen has an accomplice?
Chapter 6. 5 little sailor boys going in for law. One got in chancery, and then there were 4. One more of us acquitted. Too late.
So she wasn't passed over after all. I could have told her that wasn't likely to happen.
It's almost more than I can bear to stay in the house. 5 gone now. 5 lying in their rooms under those sheets. Cold. Forever cold now.
Steady on, Vera. We can't lose our grip now.
Bleak House by Charles Dickens is a scathing indictment of the Chancery Court. Until it was merged with the common law courts in 1873, at its worst, cases of estates and inheritances could carry on for the entire lifetimes of those involved. To get caught in Chancery Court literally might have meant one could die there. I can't help but feel that Mr. Owen has that particular fate reserved for me. My time would appear to have come.
Miss Brent refused protection. At least what mortal hands could provide. Will you, Judge?
Not at all. I welcome it. My days on this earth may be few at this point. All the more reason I relish every one.
But it was the participants in the cases whom the Chancery Court often crushed, not the judges.
An interesting point, Miss Claythorne. I'll certainly have to think that over. There is another point I'd like to make.
There usually is.
One of us is a murderer. Everything must be done to safeguard the 4 of us who are innocent. Mr. Lombard, you have a gun.
I'll be damned if I'll give up my revolver.
Happily, there are enough of us still alive to force the issue if necessary.
Oh, very well then, since you've got it all taped out. It's in the drawer of the table by my bed. I'll get it.
I'll just keep you company if you don't mind.
How are you holding up, Vera?
I'll be fine as soon as Philip returns.
Any idea why Miss Brent might have gone to the apiary?
Even with her belief in divine intervention on her behalf, I don't see her going there of her own free will.
A pleasure as always, Miss Claythorne. What can we do to best protect you, Judge?
We must protect each other. Miss Claythorne is right. It may be only my ego insisting I'm the next victim. Even if I am, Owen is running out of time. Your brother is certain to raise the alarm if you don't return tomorrow. That means a boat, weather providing. Owen still has much to accomplish before then. If I'm guarded, he may well pass me over. Perhaps drop his little rhyming schemes entirely. The innocent among us are all equally at risk.
What's your opinion about how Miss Brent got to the apiary?
That one point has been worrying me like a bit of beef stuck between my teeth. It seems obvious to me that she wasn't carried. She was lured there. How, I don't know. But it had to be by the one person amongst us she would trust implicitly.
But who would that be?
I'm afraid my deliberations have come to focus on you, Miss Claythorne.
If you gentlemen will excuse me.
Vera, you shouldn't be alone.
As long as Philip and Mr. Blow are together, and you 3 remain together, I'm perfectly safe.
I am grateful for your assistance, Judge Wargrave. How are you holding up, Doctor?
What? Oh, fine, fine. Never better.
What can you tell me about Miss Brent's death?
Multiple bee stings, severe allergic reaction. She never stood a chance.
Any idea how she got out to the apiary?
Walked, I expect. Oh, I see what you mean. Not the place I'd choose for a stroll if I was allergic. Must have been lured somehow. Or coerced.
Thank you for your time, Doctor.
Snooker, Doctor?
I'm not sure I could give you much of a game. Hands are a little shaky. But I'll try if you like.
Excellent.
Who's in that table, I tell you?
I'm going to search you whether you like it or not.
You fool! Can't you see the lock's been forced?
Narracott, will you help me search him?
I won't resist.
Nothing.
Now it's your turn. Not even a stray bee.
And you, Mr. Narracott?
Go right ahead.
Nothing. That leaves Armstrong, the judge, or Miss Claythorne.
The killer could have simply hidden it somewhere.
I'm going to search everyone anyway, and if it's hidden, I'll find it. And I'm starting in here, if Mr. Lombard has no objections.
Help yourself. Try not to make too much of a mess. There's no Rogers anymore to clean up.
Patrick, please leave me to my thoughts.
Well, Doctor?
A dangerous game. If it fails...
Ah, Mr. Narracott. Any luck finding the revolver?
None.
Mr. Blore has searched us, and I heard Miss Claythorne yelling at him to watch his hands earlier, so I suspect she's been searched as well.
The murderer has had plenty of time to devise a hiding place. I don't fancy it will be easily found. If you'll excuse us, we'll continue our game.
Here, what's this? There's something written on the bottom of Narracott's plate. Solidiamide.
Thalidomide? My dear sir, that is a deadly poison. Owen has undoubtedly poisoned you.
Is there an antidote?
Yes, turpentine oil, but I have none in my bag.
I don't feel anything yet. How long do I have?
You won't feel anything until you can't feel anything. You have an hour or so, I'd estimate. No more. I say, turpentine oil can be found in Bellman's Universal Embrocation, a patent medicine for rheumatism and minor aches and pains. I never prescribe it. It can cause a nasty rash if over-applied. But there may be some in the house. Beastly night again. I can't see why anyone would want to build a house here.
With war coming on, it may be useful as a coastal watch post.
The generator again.
No one's going out in that squall to repair it this time.
Obviously, the waiting is over. Mr. Owen has made his next move. We mustn't let our guards down. Only one of us can be alone. The rest must always stay together until that person returns.
May I claim that privilege, Judge? I'd like to go get my wrap.
Of course, my dear, but don't be long.
I shan't.
Do you really think there'll be a war, Judge? I don't see it myself. One world war should have shown any sensible person the folly of such a course.
My dear doctor, if there's one thing I believe Mr. Hitler is not, it is a sensible person.
That was Vera screaming. I think it was coming from her bedroom. There's a wind coming from Vera's room.
Ow!
That sounded like it came from the dining room.
I should go see what the commotion is about.
He's been shot. Death must have been instantaneous.
The figures! Look at the centerpiece!
They say trouble comes in threes. It would appear that they're correct. First poison, then the generator, and the poor judge. This petrol tank is empty. The petrol tank is now full. The generator seemed to be working fine. I'm not feeling so well. I should try and do something about it. Impressive. Not exactly my style, though. Hello, what's this? That did the trick. I feel much better now.
Chapter 7. 4 little sailor boys going out to sea. A red herring swallowed one, and then there were 3.
4 bodies upstairs, 2 down. Can't be very hygienic. Still with us, Narracott? Thalidomide isn't much of a poison if you ask me. Although your face is all flushed.
I found the antidote.
Thank heavens!
The weather is moderate. Might be a chance for a bonfire on Ship's Rock.
Can you give an account of your movements?
I followed you and Lombard almost to the top of the stairs. I heard someone below me breathing in the dark, so I stays as still as a church mouse. Then I hear stealthy steps heading down the stairs. This stands investigating, I think. So I creep as carefully as I can back down. I step closer and saw the doctor bending over Wargrave.
Did you see the gun anywhere?
No, but I smelled the cordite from it in the air. One thing I don't understand, that wig on the judge's head, where did that come from?
Someone borrowed Miss Brent's grey yarn. She told me it was missing. She was extremely perturbed.
Something finally broke through that icy shell of hers, eh? I didn't think it was possible. Owen certainly thinks ahead.
Who arrived in the dining room after you?
Lombard practically on my heels. Then a few seconds later, Miss Claythorne opened the kitchen door. I found that peculiar.
You said you knew something about the history of this island.
It was bought by that sailing chap, Elmer Robson. But his wife got seasick, poor dear. Loved the bird watching, but not the boating. An American film star named Gabrielle Steele bought it from them after some scandal or other back in the States. She stuck it out for a couple of years, but must have missed the glamour and excitement of Hollywood because she packed it in. Next, the Admiralty was rumoured to have taken it over for some super-secret stuff I could never get a line on. Thing that puzzled me was that I found no record of anybody named Owen buying the place. I was going to get onto his solicitor, Archibald Morris, before coming, but he died last week.
Died? What was the cause?
Still under investigation, but it sounded like poison to me.
Good evening, Mr. Blore. Cause of death was a bullet?
Yes, directly in the center of his forehead. Never had a chance.
Can you give an account of your movements?
When we heard Miss Claythorne scream, I naturally went with the rest to investigate. I thought the judge was right behind me. I stood there for a moment, wondering whether I should go up or down. While I was there, I heard the shot. I made my way back to the dining room. He was quite dead.
Did you see the gun?
No.
Who arrived in the dining room after you?
Mr. Blore, I believe. Yes, then Lombard, and finally Miss Claythorne. From the kitchen. I didn't understand that.
If you'll excuse me, Doctor. What happened after you went upstairs?
I went to my room, opened the door. A gust of wind blew my candle out. I tried to move toward the French doors to close them when I felt like a hand on my face. Cold, clammy, smelling of the sea. I thought of Cyril, floating down through the green depths.
Oh, Vera.
I screamed and ran, stumbling in the dark. I found myself at the service hallway, heard running behind me and rushed in there. Then I made my way down the back stairs every time there was a flash of lightning. There was a shot while I was on the stairs. I went through the kitchen to the dining room. I was the last to arrive.
The clammy hand was seaweed hanging from a line. I had a look inside after we, made the judge comfortable. Just a length of seaweed.
Well, whoever strung it up, combined with the generator failing, made a neat diversion designed to separate us.
Did you see the gun anywhere?
No, I'm sorry.
Can you give an account of your movements?
Just for the record, Wargrave was the one so keen on you playing detective, not me. It didn't turn out so well for him, did it?
You won't answer my questions.
I didn't say that. Just thought it worth pointing out. My movement? I ran up the stairs behind you and, well, I ducked into the bathroom at the top. The one Armstrong and the judge shared.
Curious behavior.
It occurred to me that Vera's scream was meant to be a diversion. I wanted to see what everyone would do. In the lightning flashes, I saw Blore head back down the stairs. Narracott was along the hall there. So I went downstairs to the dining room, arriving behind Blore.
Did you see the gun anywhere?
I saw it in a flash of lightning and scooped it up. I didn't know what had happened then. I realize now you have only my word that I picked it up after the murder.
I think you'd better hand that over.
I think you'd better not try to take it away from me again.
Who arrived in the dining room after you?
Vera appeared in the kitchen doorway a few moments later.
Are you sure you recognized Owen's voice?
All right, Narracott, I'll tell you. I was hired by Archibald Morris, the non-existent Mr. Owen's attorney. He first made contact with me over the telephone. It was Morris's voice on that recording, I'd swear to it.
That'll be all, Mr. Lombard.
5 left, and we don't know which.
I know.
I haven't the least doubt.
I suppose I do know, really.
I think I've got a pretty good idea now.
I haven't a clue.
I don't know about the rest of you lot, but I'm going to go to my room and lock myself in until daylight.
Sound plan.
I agree.
But Patrick doesn't have a room.
Plenty of them about, if he doesn't mind sharing.
5 bullets are plenty.
Oh, Hugo. I'm so sorry.
Self-righteous, smug old hypocrite. letting Narracott play his detective games with a real professional on the case. He got no more than he deserved. Were you upstairs just now?
No.
One of them's out of his or her room.
Whoever it was went out the front door.
I'll follow. Find out who's missing. That's our killer.
I need to check everyone's room and find out who's missing.